Maya Supto Yada Jiva Prabhudyate Ajamanitram Swapnam Advaitam Buddhyate Tada. Okay.
The individual, read. You want to read it?
No, you read.
So then maybe you can give it to Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. That is okay. Yeah.
I like to listen, then I understand more.
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Super.
When the individual soul sleeping under the influence of beginningless Maya is awakened, then it realizes itself the birthless, sleepless, dreamless and non-dual Turiya.
Okay, you can start reading and we'll discuss after the reading.
I think we should really read it. I think it explains things.
Yeah.
Follow.
Using both the words dream and deep in their meaning of misapprehension and non-apprehension of reality, the glossator is now trying to assure us that we too can subjectively experience the great truth, the fourth state of consciousness. When we, through the sadhana of Vedanta and meditation, have awakened ourselves to the divine consciousness, here the definite assurance of the Master is that he repeatedly emphasizes the fact that the truths of the Upanishads are not mere utopian dreams, but are experiences which can be brought within the life of the every practitioner. Man is now, under his grown self-delusion, living in a state of sleep. This means that man is existing today in the non-apprehension of the real nature of himself as the all-pervading consciousness. This state of affairs has been his lot from the time of creation, which is from the time when the first unit of time came to be conceived. Thus creation is without beginning, anadi. From the time of creation down to the present moment, we have been living in a state of sleep. That is non-apprehension of reality. When the ego, thus sleeping now, awakens fully of the truth, the reality of its own nature, it shall wake up to the reality or truth which is non-dual, birthless, sleepless and dreamless.
Okay, let's stop here. So, go ahead, see if you want to explain.
Yeah, so basically he's saying is that when we awaken from this dream and sleep state, misapprehension, that is when we will be able to see the reality which is anadi.
I think.
Why did he call it anadi? That's why I wanted
Because
to
I think what he's saying, Jogindra, as soon as we realize the state which is which has no beginning and no end, then we end up realizing that we ourselves are not that state. We have a beginning and we have the end.
When we say we, you're talking about the body?
Body.
Yeah. So
I
when
meant the body. I meant the body.
Body and mind.
Body and mind. We have the beginning and we have the end. When the state that is out there, it has no beginning and no end.
So I think we need to change our vocabulary and say, we are that, but our body and mind is beginning and the end, because it's very important to shift that in our mind,
the
right?
element. We are the element of it, and I think that's what I.
So that is because body is made for us. Like one very powerful thing that I heard people say, "Oh, we are human beings having a spiritual experience." You've heard that, and they say, "No, you're a spiritual being having a human experience."
Yeah.
So it's like you are that, but this is just a temporary thing. But we always think, oh, I'm going to a spirituality.
Yeah,
no,
because
spirituality is your nature.
Because even in that one Meher Baba thing, he said, you already are there.
Yeah.
But you have forgotten.
Right, and he tells
So,
you,
yeah.
and the ignorance, the most important thing about
Yeah.
ignorance, it is beginningless, but ignorance has an ending.
Right.
So
this
that
is-
distinction we have to make, that God is beginning and endless and beginningless and endless, right? But the ignorance itself is beginningless, and the reason is beginningless is that Meher Baba's definition also. Hey, why did this world got created? Because God had this feeling, I want to know myself. So how do you know? First you become ignorant, then
Even God didn't know himself.
yes, even God did not know it. He wanted to experience his potential. How great I am, or whatever you can call it. So then he had to do this. So then the time before that, there was no time. So that's why they call it Anadi.
Yeah.
So the ignorance is Anadi, but it does have an ending. The moment you wake up, it can end. And then one of the best example that I heard was that एक कोई गुफा है जिसमें कभी लाइट नहीं जाती, right? So वो कि कब से है वो गुफा में लाइट नहीं, पता नहीं कब से, जब से दुनिया बनी तब से है उसमें अंधेरा. Then you go there with a light. So does it at that time the darkness doesn't say, hey, I've been there forever, you can't come here, right? Boom, in 1 second there is light then. So it does not matter how long the ignorance has been,
Yeah, you can turn on.
turn on any time, and once the light is on, what happens to the darkness? It's not there, So that's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, next paragraph में ये exactly the same thing
Let's see.
that you just mentioned.
So
Go ahead, together.
you can finish.
Qualification dreamless carries with it the significance that in truth there is no misapprehension. The same idea has been repeated in other Upanishads also, especially in the famous call of the rishis to man when they cry in the scriptures, awake, arise, where we have awakened from the dream. The dream world of delusions ends, so too when we have awakened to the reality. All our concept of limitations, finitude, mortality, and so on drop away from us. The ego dies away once for all, never more to rise up again. Samsara is for the ego, and at the destruction of the ego, all its false concepts and limitations must necessarily end. The construction of the ego and how its delusionary ideas of separating existence have come to us are all described earlier. When we are awakened thus to the greater reality, through the process of meditation, we get to know that plane of consciousness called Turiya, wherein we have neither any non-apprehension or misapprehension of truth.
So that's what exactly I think.
So-
they were
so meditation-
saying that, either through meditation, and meditation can take so many different forms.
Yeah.
But I think what they're saying is that once you are aware of that, as soon as you are aware, then you are awake.
Right.
Before that, you're not. Yes.
Right. And as soon as you are awake, you realize that there is a state of what we are calling it consciousness. We are labeling it, right, as a consciousness. The plane, the fourth state. But there is a state which is really, for some of us, it's very hard to comprehend.
No, for all of us, until you reach it's something like, if I see these saints who are self-realized, they have been there, right? And now they are trying to describe, and we can just kind of get the glimpse of it. We don't know what it is. If I go and see Niagara Falls, and none of you have seen it, and I come back and say, oh, it was so fantastic. It was like this, and you're comprehending. Unless you go there yourself,
But even then, I think the state of consciousness, even beyond that, now I can go there and I can see, you and I will see things differently.
Oh, that's
The
a
same
different thing.
right?
But what I'm saying, experiencing, so that's why they say the experience of people may be different, but it's like the state is the same.
It cannot be described. It's the state of consciousness.
That's why it's called
No,
undescribable.
because the two description we heard from Jill Bolt when her brain got damaged, that Jill Bolt trailer.
That one
Yes,
lady
but
who
she-
whose left brain got damaged and she was only.
All she said that she was connected to the rest
No,
of the
no.
world.
So what? Those are the things
But
like,
that connecting
and
is
that
something we
Amita
cannot
Murjani,
describe
the
it.
same way she saw the thing, but when she came back, she knew it exists.
Right.
That's the way she describes. So same way, individually, when you meditate, you can get there, and you can experience that. That's what
I
they're
think the
saying.
experience probably will be same, but how you describe will be different because that depends on your own mind.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think what I
Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
this
you're
is
trying to
what
get.
they were saying.
Yeah, because you
is
see that there are so many self-realized people, and there are people who are ordinary people who are self-realized.
Because words are not.
And not everybody can
sufficient.
describe it.
Well, by the way, words are not sufficient to describe certain things, right? And
That's why I gave that example. No matter how many times I say that what it is, you will never know until you go there yourself. Or a mango. If I eat a mango or some fruit, some exotic fruit, I can describe it. I can write a book, a poetry, everything. But until you eat it, you won't know.
अब तो आपने बहुत ही मेरे पर बर्डन कर दिया है मुझे वहाँ नायग्रा फॉल्स जाना पड़ेगा और आज घर जाके मैंगो खानी पड़ेगी
So,
Can
You
you
improve with your own realization.
yes, and that's why they keep telling
With
you.
your own अनुभव. That is why they say in योग वशिष्ठ, भाई जो गूंगा होता है ना, गुड़ खाता है,
हाँ.
ये कान से है.
Yeah, right. वही हाल सभी का
Gunge
है.
ki
Yeah.
mithai, that
Yeah.
Nanak also said.
गूंगो खाए गुड़ रखे,
Yeah.
मुश्के कुश्के की नकी.
And then, there are some verses in some of the other
Because you
Upanishads.
can't express.
Yeah, the last
What
verse
the
is,
text is.
oh, it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And they just stop it at that. And then in one verse in Gita, Bhagwan says to Arjun that it is such a wonder, to know about it is a wonder, it is a wonder, the process is wonder, when you get it, it's wonder. That's how he could describe it. So,
Are we done today for
I
today?
think it's already 12:25.
Yeah.
So we did two
Closing
verses.
prayer? Okay.
Yeah.
क्लोजिंग प्रेयर कर देते हैं अभी
Yeah.
I still have no comprehension about the closing prayer का क्या अब आपने
One was Sarve Bhavantu, right? Then Astoma Sadgamaya. Then we do Triambakam. And then I had added, what did I add? Purnamada.
Yeah.
आप ऐड भी करते जाओ आप डिलीट भी करते जाओ
No, delete करने का तो सवाल ही
लेकिन
नहीं. These
जो
are all
कुछ भी
great
करो
mantras.
जो कुछ भी करो हमें बताते भी जाओ
So is that Purnamada?
We need a
सही है
Purnamada was there. And then I was thinking of there's one more really nice one. Tvameva Mata.
Yeah.
Isn't that a nice one?
Very nice.
Should we add that in the opening prayer? Tvameva Mata?
Opening is better.
Yeah.
Opening.
Yeah.
उसमें सब कुछ आता है.
विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव
तमेव सर्वं मम देव देव.
Yeah, so let's add that. It's a beautiful one. No, we all know the meaning also. So next time we will do it in the Tumeva Mata. Okay. So let's do those 4 now. And we can do one each time. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukha bhavet. Om Shanti
शांति शांति.
Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om
Shri Guru.
Astoma.
असतो
Sadgamaya. Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Triyambakam yajamare sugandhim pushtivardhanam urvarukamiv vandhanat mrityormukshamamritat. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's do the food prayer only on this table because there we forget so many times.
बट लेकिन ओम भी करना है ना बाद में
हाँ
ओम भी
so
अभी
पहले
करना है।
ओम करके फिर फूड को अलग करें
हाँ,
okay
हाँ,
we'll do
पहले
that
ओम करना।
good idea
3 times, correct?
and then we'll pause a little bit in between for the turiya state
Yeah. So
yeah Brahmarpanam
I was going to say
हाँ, बोलो
misapprehension, Turiya, then misapprehension, Turiya, and then apprehension, Turiya.
oh you mean
Yeah.
I guess
So
when you
you're
say-
trying to fix yourself with
yeah
every misapprehension.
that's why they gave those names right
Right, very
You know,
nice. Yeah, I like that.
Brahmarpanam
Yeah.
Om Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam Brahmeva Tena Kantamyam Brahma Karma Samadhina